Welcome back. This is the MJ Show. I'm your host Mihir Joshi, and today I have somebody completely different. I mean, you've seen a whole bunch of singers, musicians, a couple of actors on the MJ Show, but today we have someone who is, without a doubt, one of the funniest people I've met in my life. I first met her about 4-5 years ago. We both were supposed to do something for IPL. I was in the in-studio band, performing, singing Bollywood songs, and she was supposed to do stand-up comedy on the show, because they decided that it's a good idea to have stand-up comedy while cricket is happening. You don't ask me why, but that's what they thought is a great idea. So anyhow, that's how we first met. I saw her perform many times after that, and I told her that when I start getting stand-up comics on the MJ Show, the first person that I'm going to have is her, and it gives me great pleasure to have her right here on the show with me. So help me welcome on the MJ Show the absolutely brilliant, hilarious Aditi Mittal. Hello.
Hello, Mihir.
Fabulous to have you on the show.
I am so excited to be here.
We've been talking about this for like the longest time. I think what पिछले 4-5 महीने 6 महीने से बात कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, this has been it.
We even had one lunch randomly just to chat.
That was the first lunch you ever came without somebody,
yeah,
without any work agenda.
With no work agenda. So then उसके बाद सोचा नहीं यार करना चाहिए. Let's do this, and finally it's happened. So good, glad to have you.
Thank you.
People have obviously watched you perform everywhere, and they know that you're a funny person, and they've seen your videos on YouTube, which are, by the way, hilarious. We're going to talk about the YouTube videos in just a little bit. But before we get to the YouTube and the performances and everything, I want to find out how you got on this journey to begin with. I mean, there aren't too many stand-up comics by itself, like men, women, pakdo, wo to hai nahi. But like in our country where there are thousands of performers, like literally thousands, you could probably say that the successful stand-up comics who are actually performing and making money off it are probably under 100.
Yes.
100 tops.
Haan,
theek hai. So in those 100 also, there are probably about maybe 5 or 10 women.
There's like, 4.
So how did you get onto this journey? How do you decide that this is what I want to be doing with my life?
So I lost my job. I was working after college. I was working with a company in New York, doing some
fancy,
kind of editing. I imagine.
Achha.
I can't even remember what that job was like because I feel like I blocked so much of it out of my mind. But I was doing. I swear. And so I'm doing this thing, and then the recession hits, and then my boss sort of does this thing where he takes us individually out of the office to tell us that the company is shutting down.
Oh shit.
And the thing is, they didn't even take you in. They couldn't tell you in front of everyone because they were scared that people would start creating a scene. So they would take us outside. So one by one, I'm watching everyone go on this long walk and come back looking very distraught. And I was like, what's happening? And then the next thing, he's like, oh, Aditi, let's grab some fresh air, huh? And I was like, nahi, I'm okay. Like, main theek hu. But so we went for this walk, and he's like, listen, I'm so sorry, the company is shutting down, and look for a new job, and I can help you if you're.
And this was in New York.
This was in New York.
And what did you study before that?
I studied mass comm and theatre, and मैं बड़े मतलब सपने लेके गई थी कि मैं मतलब I wanted to, like, I think my dream was to be on Broadway, like singing, dancing. Papa आपको पता है मुझे कितना शौक है. So I wanted to do that, but then I got this job, and so then when I quit the job, when the job quit me, then I came back home to India, and I was also very vague on मतलब क्या करना क्या है ज़िंदगी के साथ and everything, and that's when I saw these open mics happening in this place called Cafe Goa.
That's when I first saw you perform as well,
What rubbish.
I remember there was this like little, wasn't Tanmay one of the guys who was sort of moderating it, or like Tanmay Bhatt,
was he hosting it?
Hosting,
Yeah.
Not moderating, I meant to say hosting, and then he introduced various stand-up comics, and you were like the only female. I remember me and my friend had gone, this was the very start of stand-up comedy in the city. I think this was like one of the first maybe 4 or 5 gigs that had happened over there, and you were there, and this was like a long time ago, right? I remember somebody's put up some YouTube videos of that also.
Yeah.
So वो videos के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे.
That was a learning phase.
था. So you started performing over there.
So I started performing over there, and it's true यार, मेरा learning phase बहुत लंबा था. For very long I was going on stage. I have no idea what I was doing. But every time I got a laugh, I was like, oh my god, this sounds amazing. Just the sound of laughter and the sound of everyone like either saying, oh my god, I know exactly what she's talking about, or oh my god, I never thought of it that way.
Correct.
At the exact same moment, I was
Right.
like, this is intoxicating.
Yeah.
And so I started doing stand up, and at that time, of course, the scene was just coming
Starting
into
up. Yeah,
existence.
exactly.
So there was no structure. There was no like what is going on, who is doing what, where. We used to literally go to
there was no
random-
comedy club, there was no Laugh Factory, Canvas Laugh Factory, whatever.
Nothing.
Blue Frog wasn't doing stand-up comedy,
Nothing.
nothing. I think this Cafe Goa was called Trafalgar Chalk before that. or
Before that,
whatever.
yeah.
That was like the one place in the city where people decided
It was
कि,
happening
हाँ, कुछ
constantly.
करते हैं, हाँ, constantly.
And then, of course, Veer Das had what was called the Amateur Nights or whatever, and he was hemorrhaging money. He was losing money non-stop. But it was such a platform for people to go and perform.
Correct.
And so I remember going for the second one, and I didn't even finish my set. We exactly had like 2 minutes on stage, and I halfway through the joke, they were like, okay, peh, chalo ghar jao. And I was like, yeah, at least survived 2 minutes. Like, small joys. So wo karte, I started like, and I remember the first show they ever had with only Indian comics at what was then the Comedy Store.
Comedy Store. Yeah.
And only Indian comics, that first lineup, and I was one of the 5 comics on
wow,
that
okay,
lineup,
nice,
and it
nice.
just felt so good.
Do you remember what year this was?
This was in 2010.
2010. Okay.
हाँ जी, and my parents were still so confused. They're like, कि कहाँ जा रही है? मतलब बोलती कि बाहर जा रही हूँ या क्लब जा रही हूँ या whatever. तो क्लब जा रही तो मतलब पेपर वर्क क्या लेके जा रही वहाँ पे? सलवार कमीज क्यों पहनी हुई है? जीन्स क्यों पहनी हुई है? जैकेट क्यों पहनी हुई है? But I would go dressed like, you know, salwar kameez and jacket and jeans to perform, and then come back, and again I would come back at 11:30, 12 and not be drunk or not be like, and she'd be like, तू गई क्या किया क्या तुमने 4 घंटों के लिए वहाँ पे क्लब में दूध पी के आई है दिमाग खराब है. And I was like, नहीं मम्मी, I just didn't know how to explain it to her, but she was so cool about it, you know. She was so like, she didn't understand what I was doing, but she was like,
तू कर.
full power. हाँ तू कर जो भी करना है तेरा दिमाग खराब है तू कर. And that I believe is absolutely integral. Yeah, parents being supportive, especially as a girl and all. क्या रात को इतना. Thank you.
Totally agree.
To my mummy and to my daddy, thank you.
This segment is dedicated to her mummy and daddy. There you go. चलो.
हाँ, so and the best part is now they don't even come to watch the shows.
अच्छा.
Now they're like, अरे ये घर पे मुफ्त में होता है तो तुम क्या कर रहे हो वहाँ पे? हम नहीं पैसे दे के आ रहे हैं. I'm like, यार.
Incidentally, if you're wondering what the weird sound in the background is, there's a cat around her house. We're sitting in her house and shooting right now. There's a cat that's loud. Like, it's hilarious how there's a cat. This is the first time we've had a loud cat in the shoot of the MJ show.
Listen, let me tell you about this cat. Okay, this cat was, my mother doesn't like cats, but my mamu who used to stay here was in love with cats. Okay, so my mamu obviously gave her a very original name, which was Pussy. So there would be like hours where you would see in the morning my mamu standing by the window yelling pussy, 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 pussy. So this cat's name officially is Pussy. Just
I knew this was gonna be good.
Pussy is making a mark outside.
Okay, sorry. So
Sorry
so
about
you were
that.
doing this in 2010,
Hanji.
not screaming at her pussy.
Pussy outside, yeah. She's like, what do you mean 2010? I think it was 2011. Like, Pussy ji, आपको कुछ नहीं पता.
Okay.
हाँ.
Sorry. So, rein it in. 2010 Comedy Store, one of the first 5 comics from India, like a proper full Indian set. That happened. उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
जी उसके बाद then I think it was just a question of putting yourself out there, going on stage more and more, and then you know I got contacted by BBC, and so I went and did shows in London, and then I was doing.
That was back then immediately?
Oh no, उसके दौरान मतलब हमने काफी रगड़ाऊगिरी की थी बीच में. We did lots of like club work. और तब मतलब पेमेंट क्या होती थी यार? क्लब पे जाओ, stand up comedy करो, and you're like, yeah, my life is great, and then the payment was like 1 garlic bread and 1 Pepsi. वो भी मतलब आधा, like छोटे ग्लास वाला Pepsi, and you're like, अरे I nailed it today यार, like what a day in my life. तो वो बहुत किया था, and
oh, the gigs for exposure.
Oh my God यार, exposure करते हुए मेरी जिंदगी मतलब नंगी हो गई है. Exposure, yeah, these, you know, this is how they call.
Yeah.
Listen, you make a video for us, it'll go viral. Now see the kind of exposure it will give you na. We have many more videos in mind for you. तो तू exposure के लिए ₹6 के लिए कर दिया. I was like, यार, what is this? And actually, frankly, from someone who started from garlic bread and Pepsi, ₹6 was actually a step up.
Step up.
But I was like,
But you know what? See, this is why when the whole stand-up comedy scene was beginning in India, I found a lot of parallels with the English music scene in India, because that's pretty much what happens in the music scene as well. I mean, that's the only parallel I can find right now, apart from the fact that we do different things. But it's so true. When you start off, you have to do gigs for like food
exposure and garlic bread.
And,
Yeah.
we will make a poster. On that poster, we'll put your name, not your photo. First, you'll start with name, then photo आएगा. Photo आएगा तो you're like.
Matlab, see, so it's a step. It's a step up.
Step.
So first we will not acknowledge you. Then
we'll
नाम
लगाएंगे, फिर फोटो
लगाएंगे, फिर
और फिर ₹6.
और फिर 50 गिग के बाद they'll be like, ठीक है भाई, अभी तूने काफी काम कर लिया, ये ले ₹6, चाय एंजॉय करके आजा.
Cool.
So I was, and lots of them, like I always now whenever people are like, listen, it'll give you so much exposure. I'm like, listen, मैं क्या exposure को चावल में मिला के खा सकती हूँ? नहीं ना. मेरे को दाल के पैसे दे दो please.
Electricity bill के सामने exposure करूँ.
अरे वो सब छोड़ो, पोस्टर देखा है? ₹3000 की वैल्यू पोस्टर पे मेरे नाम है. वो शक्ल किसी और की है, वो सिर्फ मेरा नाम है ये.
But yeah, so those things happened. I mean, those crazy days of working your ass off, doing gigs for nothing at all.
तो वो बहुत किया, and then luckily then, you know, the sort of, it also started parallelly, I think, in almost every city, every major metro. So Delhi में, Bangalore में, suddenly we started traveling. Suddenly we started traveling, and we were doing shows for Bangalore audiences and Delhi audiences, and you know, a few international comedians were being flown down, and so they needed opening acts.
Correct.
And so we would go do those.
Correct.
And so there was just, it suddenly happened, I think in a span of a year and a half or 2 years, is where work came to you.
Correct.
Which was just like amazing.
Almost,
I was like, people are paying money for this. Like, joke bolte raho, jaldi bolo. Like, and so that's kind of, and I was very lucky to sort of grow as a performer.
Right.
Like I do believe actually 5 years ago, the things I couldn't manage, that today I can do with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And so that 5 years has been just a very, very steep learning curve in terms of like,
you know, this gets me to a very important point. Now, I don't know what you guys think when you see a stand-up comic. You think they are just naturally funny and, you know, like jokes just spout out of their head. But just for kicks, you know, just educate an audience about what goes behind an, you know, a performance that you're going to say. Suppose you're doing a half-an-hour show in front of an audience. What is the process behind that half-an-hour show? There's a lot of preparation, right? I mean, it's not just like, okay, she is naturally funny. I mean, most stand-up comics, like if you're a singer, you have to have talent. Like you have to be able to sing. That's the first thing. But just because you can sing doesn't mean that you know 90 minutes worth of material. Yeah. You have to practice. You have to rehearse with your band. There's that chemistry that involved. There's a whole system. What's the system for a stand-up comic?
So I think one of the great things about stand-up comedy, and which is what made it sort of so like it caught on like that, was the fact that it's just one person. It's one of the most pure art forms.
Correct.
There is direction, editing, writing, performing, everything is done by one person.
Correct.
So if you do well, it's all your credit.
Yeah.
If you do badly, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a very high risk profession, because you are placing yourself in front of a brand new audience.
Correct.
Every single time you are there. Even if it's the same venue, it is a 100 different people.
Correct.
The only constant technically is you.
Right.
And so one of the important things I think, and people are like, oh, you know, whatever, what if you're having a bad day? And I feel like now I'm in that space in my career where even if I'm having a terrible day, like if my cat died and then sorry pussy. And so even if my cat dies and I sort of, you know,
have to go up on stage.
I can still roll up my sleeves and sort of focus and zone out. Suppose the thought is, why did the chicken cross the road?
Right.
Correct? The chicken crossed the road in order to, what as a comedian I would do or anyone would do, is write 25 answers to why the chicken crossed the road.
Right.
Then realize that the first 17 answers, 3,000 people have thought of already.
Wow.
So you have to go to the 18th answer.
Which will still make people laugh.
Which will make people laugh.
Correct.
And the process of comedy is that it's about painting a picture and then punching a hole through it. So for example, like just let's take a classic example of a joke. There are two muffins sitting in the oven.
Okay.
One muffin says to the other oven, to the other muffin, ki bhai, oh my god, it's really hot in here. And the other muffin goes, oh my god, is that a talking muffin? It's a very simple picture. Two muffins sitting in an oven. It's a very normal picture that you've painted for someone. And suddenly one muffin talks. So the picture you've painted now is that it's a muffin that is saying words. And then suddenly you have this other muffin who's reacting to this other muffin talking.
Yeah.
You've taken the conventional picture of muffins in an oven and punched a hole through it.
Correct.
That's kind of how it's, again, that's the same two impulses. Ki I never thought of it like that, or I know exactly what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So it's those two ways in which a joke generally gets broken down and constructed over.
Correct.
And dude, a lot of these jokes that we do, you know, sometimes we have to repeat them at a lot of venues is primarily because sometimes you're saying things, like I remember I was doing this joke once and people were laughing so hard that I was like, Arey, I can't continue because they will not be able to hear me. So in between, I was just talking other nonsense and I realized people were laughing so much harder and I was like, oh, I should include this in my, you know, regular set. And so it's a you learn on stage, you learn in front of the audience, and that's what's so intimidating and scary about stand-up, really, if you think about it.
Correct. You know, if I was talking to a singer, for instance, I'd say, what was the first song that you ever sang? Do you get, you know, questions like this when you're interviewed? Do you remember the first joke you ever did? I mean, is that a valid question to ask a stand-up comic? Because
I think it's
first time I'm doing this. I mean, what was the first thing that you did on stage, for instance? Okay, let's make the question a little more sensible. First joke you said on stage, which really worked for you. Like, you know, oh my god, this was great. Like, you know, you look back on that night and said that was the first one
that I knew
that worked and that got me started, where I knew that okay, I said that and people laughed.
So my first ever stand-up joke was I was talking about how, you know, and I'm healthy. That's how we Punjabi people like to call it. It's healthy. I'm a little healthy. And so I was talking about how, as a healthy girl, it's difficult to find a guy because, you know, at least with healthy guys, it's always like, oh my god, he has a heart of gold, or he's such a teddy bear, or like something really like cute like that. There's no sort of cute word for healthy girls. There's no like, oh my god, she looks like a teddy bear. Oh, damn it. She looks like a Dolly Bindra. She looks like a... There's nothing cute about a chubby girl. And so I went up on stage and I was just like, yay, Mary. This is my inner voice crying out. And I said, you know, it's so difficult to find love as a chubby girl. And people were just like, oh, wow. I was like, I don't know if this is... But there was a few places in there where it kind of worked and people were laughing and people were clapping. And I was like, yaar, yehi karna hai. And I remember the first time I went, I wrote about my dad. Because my dad is hilarious, okay? And so I was talking all rubbish. I was like, oh, my dad, because he's very Punjabi also. So he does this thing where he says, he can't say bear. So he says beers. So he's always like, arey, wo Goldilocks and the three bears. I was like, huh? And then I was like, oh my god, it makes sense because Goldilocks had to lie down and eat all that food and all. I was like, oh, obviously she's such a small girl. She had beers. Like, that's what the story is about. I was like, my father was the original writer for
Goldilocks and the three bears.
And that was the first joke that kind of like, it got a laugh on stage and, you know, people responded because they were like, we actually got to know something about you. And that's one of the most important things in comedy is it has to be intensely personal. Otherwise, you're not gonna sound convincing when you're saying it.
You're not going to be able to connect with people. I think people love the fact that there are things that you are talking about yourself which they see in their life and that they can connect. Yeah.
And that's one of the most, like I think one of the most important things about comedy is it has to be personal. That's why you are a stand-up comedian. Everyone remembers you on some hook or the other.
Correct.
You know, you are known as the girl who talks about Punjabis, the girl who talks about sanitary napkins, the girl who talks about, you know, something else.
Correct.
Sindhis, whatever.
Correct.
The audience needs a hook to hang you on.
Right.
And the one way to do it is to make it so personal that nobody else can kind of copy it.
Correct. Yeah.
And so that's what that's my first joke.
That was cool. All right, so let's do one thing. So this happened, but tell me about some of the interesting sort of, because I know, I mean, we've been in touch in the last few years on Facebook and Twitter and all of that. You've had some really cool experiences as a stand-up comic. I mean, not necessarily as a stand-up comic performing, but even because you're a stand-up comic, you got to do some really cool things, got to meet some really cool people. Tell me about some of the most interesting incidents from that perspective that you've had.
You know, I've had the fortune. So in the third year that I was doing stand-up, I did this documentary film called Stand Up Planet.
Okay.
And they were sort of going across to various parts. It was funded by the Gates Foundation.
Okay.
And they were going to various parts of, so they went to South Africa and they went to India, and they showcased the comedy of the two countries.
Correct.
And took us to LA.
Oh wow.
To perform. And I remember, like, it was the most amazing experience because we are hanging out in the green room, right? This is before the final show. We're hanging out in the green room. Suddenly we're told the show is cancelled.
Okay.
Why? Because Dane Cook has showed up.
Okay.
Now, as it turns out, and we're performing at Laugh Factory, which is the home of stand-up comedy, American stand-up comedy.
Correct.
Since the 60s. Like, that's where the first stand-up comedians took stage.
Correct.
And
all the big names.
every big name ever.
Yeah.
So we are told, why is the show cancelled? Because Dane Cook has come. And Dane Cook is like, Dane Cook has his own hoarding on top of, like, he just has a board that says Dane Cook on top. ये भी नहीं कि कुछ खरीदो उसका, कुछ करो उसके नाम पे, just Dane Cook. Like, I was like, what a life. Where you can just afford to buy a giant board and just say, Aditi Mittal, finish. और कुछ नहीं, बस देख लो नाम. Like, and so he comes, and you know, the sort of hierarchy, the dynamics of stand-up comedy really sort of hit me that day was when he was like, I want to do a set, cancel everything.
Oh wow.
And so they were like, and the club was in this thing, they were like, ठीक है, सब कुछ cancel कर दो. But then, of course, you know, he came backstage and my producer took me to, like, she was like, oh, you must sort of say hello. And I was just like, like, of course, I'm very classy and eloquent and witty in sort of potential fan situations. And I just said, I was like, you know, everyone in India knows you and you should come down to India and do a show and stuff like that. And he's just like, yeah. I was like, if I was Dane Cook, I would go nowhere. I would sit right there on that sofa for the rest of my life with my board on top of the building. कि भाई मेरे को और क्या करना है life में achieve.
Correct.
But he was just, and he was so nice, and you know, like, he kind of like got into conversation with us. I met Hassan Minhaj, who is now on The Daily Show, who is one of the reporters on The Daily Show.
Nice.
I met Bill Burr.
Okay.
At that point, and Bill Burr is one of those comics. He's extremely, I mean, he's brilliant. He's actually superbly brilliant. His craft is probably some of the finest comedy I've ever seen.
Nice.
In recent times. The thing is, his material is slightly, and I know every other comic watching this is going to want to punch me in the face, but it's misogynistic. And so, like, and that's one of those things. What is brilliant about the feeling about comedy is that you hate what he's saying. You're like, that's so wrong what he's saying. But the fact is, he has said so much other brilliant stuff that you're like, this is your understanding of the world and I'm just going to accept you over that. So I meet him at Canvas Laugh, sorry, not Canvas Laugh, at Laugh Factory. And I don't know, I'm no good. I just turned to him and I was like, excuse me, your comedy is very harmful for ladies or something like really stupid like that. I said to him, okay. And he was just like, who are you? Like, I was like, exit frame. And then he comes to India, dude. He comes to India. And like, I was so excited. I was like, iska to show dekhne ko jaane ka hi jaane ka hai. And when he's on stage, he's like, yeah, you know, I met a couple of you guys earlier. One of you said you should come to India to perform. Actually, no, she didn't say that. And I was like, he remembers me. My fucking awkward, bumbling idiocy everywhere. So it was very nice. It was very nice.
By the way, in case you guys don't know some of the names that she's mentioned, do check them out. They're really, really funny people. Their content is on YouTube. Everybody's content is up on YouTube. Whether they want it or not, it's there on YouTube. Dekho. And you will get to know some really, really cool stand-up comics in this conversation as well. Speaking of which, let's talk about the YouTube videos that you've been making. I mean, I've been seeing, and I know she's got a few more lined up right now. I'm gonna maybe get her to talk a little bit about that. But you already put out 2 music videos, which are hilarious.
Thank
The
you.
first one was based on the Meatloaf song. Right?
Hanji, anything for love.
I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. Which had
Richa Chadda in it.
Richa Chadda
Yeah.
as a guest.
Yeah.
So you guys are friends, right? I mean, you've known
Hanji.
each other for a while.
Yeah.
So
We've had a chance to, I mean, and that's what's so cool is now, it's kind of introducing your friends to this other world that you're working in.
Yeah.
Where you're like, अरे online होता है, video बनाते हैं, बहुत कांड करते हैं. And so almost anyone that I've approached has always been like, यार बहुत बढ़िया, like let's go
let's
ahead.
do it. Yeah.
I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping to collaborate with some amazing people. I did Satrupedi Cha with Neil. Neil had like a very like a walk-on role, which he was just like, he's like, this is ridiculous. Let's do it. And the next one we're doing, hopefully, we'll have Jayati Bhatia,
Nice.
who is just one of the most phenomenally talented human beings I know on this planet, and it'll be an honor and a pleasure to work with her.
Yeah.
And so I think with YouTube, and I've been making more of an effort recently,
Yeah.
I think the secret formula to YouTube views is to be extremely good looking. And so, unfortunately, as someone who is a writer of content and not a waxer of legs or a shaver of eyebrows or whatever that is very cool these days, like, I think I'm in that space where I'm trying to understand what people like, what makes them sort of hang on to something, and
So it's either pretty women, or it's six-pack abs, or it's cats.
Listen, oh my God, we should do a video of a really pretty looking cat with six-pack abs. Oh my God, a cat with abs will break the internet.
It will happen.
Oh, it's happened. And then we'll just have like Superwoman.
We'll get Pussy to come on it.
I like that Pussy has taken your imagination to quite a lot of places. You want to collaborate with Pussy after this? I see where this is going.
Oh my God,
I see where
okay.
this is going.
But yes, we probably could get Superwoman to like sort of introduce it, because I think she just needs to stand and you'll get
She
like
just needs to
100,000
appear.
views. Yeah,
Like,
she just
yeah.
needs to appear. Maybe we'll take a picture of her, like
Yeah.
यहाँ पे
Just
जैसे
instead
photo
of
लगाया
harassing
था,
her, be like, 1 second, 1 second, photo.
एक photo.
Here's a photo of Superwoman and a cat with abs. This is
that's
our
what they
idea
did.
of a viral video. Thanks.
But no, your videos are super funny, and I love that, and then of course Satrupedi Cha, which
Thank
was
you.
hilarious, and that brings me to another thing. You've created characters which have now taken on a life of their own. I mean, people know them and they love them, and when you're performing live as well, people are like waiting for, like, when is
Dolly going to come? When is Luch going to
there
come?
you
And
go,
I'm
the
like,
two alter egos of Aditi Mittal. There are a whole bunch of other people in there, I know it, but these two are the ones which are like out there. So tell me a little bit quickly about both of them.
I have multiple personality disorder and I'm trying to make art out of it. That's what my life is. So Dolly and Luchuke are two characters. One of them is this Maharashtrian, like this old Maharashtrian sex therapist. And the other one is this loud, enthusiastic Punjabi struggler in Bollywood.
Okay.
And both of them are completely diverse. And like, I think both the characters came from some part of like some people that I've observed in my life and seen. So, for example, Luchuke was based on my friend's grandmother, who was the coolest person on this planet. I'm not even joking. Like, we used to come home after college. Like, we were still in college, and we used to come home at like 11th and 12th. So we come home, she would have poha ready for us. And then we just go to her and be like, and this was the same joke every day, but she was so cool as to how she would respond. We take a bowl of poha, then finish eating. Be like, Aji, what is this? Then Aji would look at us and go, it's a bowel. Then we'd shake the bowl a little bit. Aji, what is this? It's a bowel movement. And then we would sit and laugh for hours at how hilarious it was that Aji said bowel movement. And so that's what this character was based on.
Yeah.
And this Dolly Khurana was based on my bua, who was just like so muffat, it's hilarious. Like, my bua has no filter. And I think the older she gets, the less she cares about what people think. So she just like rattles off. And so those two characters came out of that. And with Dolly, I wanted to do so much because I feel like you know, there's this always this conversation ki stand-up comedy right now is very elitist and very urban and very middle class and koi aur samjhega nahi and stuff like that. So the attempt with Dolly and with music for Dolly and with, you know, her talking in
Oh yeah,
Hindi.
in fact, 7 Rupaye Di Chai is like a music video for Dolly.
Hanji. And so the idea is to speak, is to do it in Hindi, is to you know, do it in as much of an Indian context as possible.
Correct.
To remove the elitism that
Correct.
is allegedly surrounding comedy.
Correct.
And I just want to like, I think I'm going crazy. I love the idea of comedy in any form, like in sketches, in improv, in stand-up, in like music. I've been doing sketches for like almost 5 years
Yeah, and
now.
you've done pretty much every major woman character in the country, right? I mean, I know she's done Sonia Gandhi and tell me other women characters.
Vijay Bani, dude.
Oh, you've done that? Oh, wow,
I've done
okay.
Vijay Bani, Sonia Gandhi, Meenakshi Lekhi, Kiran Bedi. I think it was amazing. My favorite was one sketch. I played Bijli.
Okay.
वो जब एक I think वो 7 दिनों के लिए load shedding हुई थी भारी भरकम in the north. So Jai Hind, the show I was doing sketches with at that point, they just wrote this character called Bijli.
Bijli, okay.
Who just comes and she acts like this item number all everywhere and then she just disappears like regular Bijli. And so I've had such a great time doing sketches. It's so, I feel so fortunate to wake up in the morning and be like, आज मैं 6 costume पहनूंगी और 6 अलग-अलग characters करूंगी. This is the best day of my life.
Awesome. In case you guys are wondering, by the way, the reason that we keep doing this is because it is ridiculously hot in Mumbai. One of the things that I'm praying for in season 3 of the MJ show is air conditioning. That's all I want. कुछ नहीं चाहिए और. It's like so hot right now, but
तब तक हम गरीब लोगों को शो पे लाया है. Who will just spend the entire show.
Season 3 में you will come back and then we will do this again in AC
without having to wipe.
We've got like she's got like a box of tissue papers over there which is all wet. I have a t-shirt here which I was wearing before I came here which is wet. These are the things that we do for all of you.
Sacrifice, you
Sacrifice.
guys.
But anyway, back to this. So songs. You know, the fact that you're making music videos, even though they are, you know, hilarious and they are funny and everything, obviously music has been something that, you know, you've been into. I mean, the fact that you chose a Meatloaf song out of everything else, I was like, okay, like a billion songs to choose from. She chose a Meatloaf song. There's a story here. So what's the kind of music you grew up on?
Gee, I love music. In fact, I used to sing in college. I did my degree in theatre and mass comm.
Right.
And so I did a lot of musical theatre in the interim, and I love singing. वो ही ना, singing and dancing का कितना शौक है आपको पता नहीं है पापा. So I used to have so much fun sort of
What
doing.
kind of stuff were you singing? And
So I played the role of Fräulein Schneider in Carousel. I was a soloist for, I did a couple of shows of Hair. Okay. I did... oh
wow, like full on
musicals. Like full blown musicals.
Yeah.
So while we were, as a part of our curriculum or whatever, we were putting them up, and it was just amazing that I actually frankly didn't even know I could sing. And then the first time I went in for an audition, like, you know, the accompaniment on the piano, he just looked up and he's like,
what are you going to sing?
How can you sing? Like, I didn't know you could sing. Like,
okay.
he had met me like on and off, and he was just like playing the piano.
What do you remember what you sang?
I sang. There was a song called. It's a racist song. It's a song called White Boys. And so maybe I won't sing that one.
What I love is that, you know, she could have thought of any answer. There's no way I could have actually verified that she sang a racist song called White Boys. But I love the honesty. Okay, let's assume you didn't sing that. Let's assume you sang like something from Grease or like Sound of Music or something. Anyhow, what did you sing?
So I did that one. Favorite Things is a classic, yeah.
तो थोड़ा गा के दिखाइए ना प्लीज.
अपने पसीने की मूंछ निकाल के थोड़ा, क्योंकि my lips will become heavy with sweat. So 1 second. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. I don't know why I'm singing this like
No, complete.
Wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things.
So cool.
I used to, but when I came back to India, I remember just like I used to die to sing all the like these songs, but Indian style. So like I would be like, there's that song, I'll take you to the candy shop. So I used to sing it. I like this thing. I'd be like, I'll take you to the candy shop. I'll make you lick the lollipop. Oh hey girl, don't you stop. Keep going till you hit the spot. Oh, I'll take you to the candy shop. Like I was so lukha in college. It was incredible. It was
Awesome.
incredible. Thank you.
Brilliant. So now you know about the singing part of Aditi Mittal. There are videos, ridiculously funny videos on her YouTube channel, which you need to go and check out. YouTube channel is called what?
It's just type in Aditi Mittal.
Oh yeah, I know.
No, listen, please.
Weird YouTube channel name, but just search for Aditi Mittal.
I started it in 8th standard because I thought I was cool. Sorry.
So anyhow, Aditi Mittal on YouTube, search it. You'll find videos. They are very funny. Trust me, watch them. So we were talking about YouTube videos. Aditi puts up a lot of YouTube videos. A lot of people put up YouTube videos, and I think one of the things that goes along with putting up YouTube videos or putting up anything on the net which is open to public is getting comments from people.
Yes,
so
of course.
वो तो आता ही है
वो तो
उसके
बनता ही
साथ,
बनता है,
ही
हाँ.
ना. So we were just deciding, we just thought, let's have a look at some of the interesting comments that have been put up on some of Aditi's videos. By the way, check out her songs. One is called
60 रुपए दी चाह.
60 रुपए दी चाह, and the other one is
The arranged date song.
arranged date song, which features Richa Chadda, and it's hilarious. But so here's one of the comments, and I'm actually going to get her to read out your comments. You mean people, this is what you get. You get to be heard on YouTube and national television, and enjoy.
So I'm reading out the safe stuff.
The safe
because obviously.
Yeah, apart from the random bleep 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 and bleep 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 bleep, all of those,
These are okay. So this one is. Hey, what are crab stuff uploaded? ... So that's an incomplete thought. He obviously had more to write either about crabs or lobsters or. I mean, this is a seafood fan right here.
And madam, how do you respond to that?
I said for crab videos, you must check out channels that specifically cater towards crab fetish people. And I found an amazing video of a crab asking for a lift.
Okay.
And then biting the man on the nose, the man who gave him a lift.
Such a mean crab.
Yeah, it was, and that's why what crab stuff
What
are
crab
you
stuff?
uploaded? What crab?
Okay.
Nonsense.
So this was one of them. What else? What do you have there?
Oh, this one I have here. Someone says, in sort of quotes. So obviously this person has thought a lot about this comment grammatically, which is a surprise for any YouTube video comment in general.
Absolutely.
So he says, but she's funny, cause female comedian lol. Like a unicorn. Feminism, comma, independent funny woman saying independent funny stuff. Yaar, acha to bolna parega. Dash popular media logic. Now, frankly, I'll tell you the truth, I respect this guy because he has really kind of gotten into the semantics of it. And I'm saying, apparently, like, I've been performing to only media all this while. Like, yaar, Devarshi, I have been 5 years on stage and I have worked my ass off. And so here's a sincere request that you focus your media analysis energies on videos that Vogue releases, on ads for Airtel. The stuff that really
needs that kind of analysis.
That kind of analysis. You focus on that.
Very cool. Oh, also there was this one guy, we just read that comment a little while ago, which said that the only people laughing on your jokes are girls.
Yeah, I find that amazing, and I find that okay. So, I mean, I don't understand. We are 50% of the world's population. Why shouldn't we have jokes? And that's one of the things that like people always constantly say, "Arey, but you are doing a female humor. How is female a genre of humor by itself?" I was like, are you joking? Like, it's, the guys are doing like political humor and satirical and observation, and mera humor, female. I was like, nahin, main bhi political, main bhi like observational, main bhi satirical, and it's high time. I think women, we are 50% of the world's population. As I said, it's high time we took responsibility for our kind of humor.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, we're gonna sort of wrap things up now with like a few. Well, we do a rapid fire round, so let's do a rapid fire round with Aditi.
Is there a hamper at the end of this? Otherwise, I'm not doing it.
No, you see, we don't have air conditioners to get our sweat off. Don't have money to buy you a hamper either. Deal with it.
You know, this is like coffee with Karan, but with ugly people on it. This really sucks. Oh, it's so hot.
Okay, first question. One venue that you would love to perform at?
At the Radio City Music Hall in New York City.
Oh wow, that would be amazing. One person you would love to have on stage, like maybe right before or after you performing, and like maybe 3 people are playing on that night, and one person.
Varun Grover. Varun Grover. He is spectacular. Oh, that's him actually.
Got like a picture of Varun Grover over there. I was like, okay, Varun
कुछ
Grover.
ज़्यादा ही worship हो गया.
Very cool. So Varun Grover, shout out to you. And next question. Last movie that you saw. Last funny movie that you saw.
Oh, the last funny movie I saw was. Damn it! This is so bad. This is so bad.
Favorite
I'm
funny
so
movie
bad.
of all time.
Oh, funny movie. Favorite funny movie. Andaz Apna Apna Boss. क्या picture है यार. Every moment in that movie was fantastic.
If you had to cover a song for one of your songs, like rewrite lyrics like you did with the Meatloaf song, which song would you cover?
From Andaz Apna Apna only. Hello, hello. Hello ji sanam hum aa gaye. Arey, I don't have the lyrics now, but I mean that's the
That's
song.
something. Okay. If you had to like make a music video, and you had to pick of any actor in the industry right now, to, like how you had
Yeah, Richa or Neil, yeah.
If you had the pick of any actor for your next video,
Kangana Ranaut, oh my god, are you kidding?
She's so cool.
She's incredible. I don't think she can do anything wrong.
Yeah, she is pretty cool right now. Without a doubt. I mean, just saw her recently at the book launch of Anupama Chopra's book about her talk show, and she was so funny, so hilarious, so honest, which is unbelievable.
You know, that's what is so exciting is that actually we're living in a country right now where even the big stars are starting to become honest.
Very honest and
Which
very real.
Very down to
approachable.
earth. They're not trying to be this sort of glamorous like Ole Cream. Like they're regular people, which is nice.
Okay, if you had to, if you had to do an ad, now that you spoke about that, if you had to do an ad for a product, which of your 3 multiple personalities would you send out to do the ad? Because I know you've done something like that recently, right?
Yeah. So I would do it as Dr. Mrs. Luch.
Oh.
I would do, it's called a pro-aging cream.
Okay.
Like there are all these anti-aging creams. I would do a pro-aging cream. And the tagline would be aging. Who cares?
Okay. One last thing that I'm going to get you to do is let's have you hum a line of your favorite song as one of your characters, either as Dolly or as Dr. Luchuke.
Wait, let me. I don't know if I'll be able to sing it or hum it as a character.
Or like say it, speak it out.
Okay, in fact, Mrs. Luchuke recently called me. She's been listening to a song a lot and she wanted to sing it for you. Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine. Let's go for it.
Just give her a moment. Just give her a moment.
Yeah.
Beta, it's a very much popular song by this gentleman who is called Yo Honey Sings.
Okay.
Means his product of a bee. Means that droppings of a bee is a honey. No?
Yes.
So Namaste, I will give you a very much famous song that is very much popular in the 5th standard, 6th standard birthday parties and stuffs. It's called this is in English because I am a very much foreign speaking person. It is called today the sky is blue, 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 blue. And over there the sun is also flew, 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 flew. Hey, come on top of the beach and pull my photo. And teri kismat, yes.
It's all good.
I sing at birthday parties also. Please invite me. I am starting my own band.
Thank you very much, Dr. Luch. I had so much fun having you on the show, even if
course,
it was for a
beta.
very little time.
I'm an old lady, you know.
Aditi took up all your time. I was supposed to actually talk to you for a fairly long time, but she was talking so much.
She's very much talkative. Yeah, these youth people doing all the youth yappa and all. It's not nice. I agree.
All right, we will have a much longer conversation with Dr. Luch, but that was gonna happen after a few months. We will get her back because I know she might
Right
also.
now, I'm having little bit bowel movement problems. No, so I will come afterwards.
Afterwards, when she's got a new song out. In fact, Aditi Mittal is also going to have a few other songs out, as is Dolly Khurana. So there are a whole bunch of songs in the process, in the making. But for now, I gotta say, Dr. Luch, Dolly Khurana, Aditi Mittal. It was so much fun having you on the show. We're gonna have like a magical thing, and now Dr. Luch is going to disappear, and Aditi is going to be back, and she's back.
Oh my God! Did you enjoy
So
that
much
time with
cool.
Dr. Mrs. Luchuke?
That was so much fun.
She was complaining about you. She was like, "This guy sweats a lot." She was like, "Isko itna pasina aa raha tha." And I was like, "It's okay, doctor. I mean, it's natural, but whatever."
Hota hai, wahi na.
Yeah.
That is pretty much all the time we have for now. But listen, first things first, go to her YouTube channel, subscribe to that. Make sure you check out all her videos. Like them, comment on them, share them, and this is what you do when you watch anything on YouTube. You must share it with everyone and let people know, and especially today, because you get to know about her and her life and her story, which by the way was so much fun. Thank you so much for spending all of this time with me.
You're amazing, man. You're amazing.
Thank you. You too. But now, as a YouTuber, why don't you tell everybody what I just told them to do for your channel? How about you? Let
You know,
them know?
I don't know how to do it as my. Just give me a second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll send someone.
Okay.
Hello, namaste students. Don't feel shy. Remember to subscribe to the channel of the MJ show, which stands for Many Johnsons. There are very many Johnsons on this show, so please remember to subscribe. Leave the comment, say stuffs like "No, old lady, it is not a Johnson's," and of course, like.
That was Dr. Mrs. Luchuke once again for you. Thank you very much to all of you for watching. We've just crossed 2.5 million views on the channel. Woohoo! And we're reaching our 10,000 subscriber. We're coming close to our 75th episode, which will be the season ending episode of season 2 of the MJ show right here on YouTube. So I'm hoping that we can reach that 3 million mark and 10,000 subscribers before that. So show her some love. Make sure you subscribe to her channel as well, and share this video. Let everybody know about everything that she does, all the things that she does, all the people that she is, and make that happen very, very soon. That is pretty much all the time we have for now.
My favorite Joshi out here, Mihir Joshi, best.
Aditi Mittal,
Yeah,
Mihir
that
Joshi.
Parikar.
Saying bye-bye.